according to the right vision that the Buddha is reported to have at its enlightenment, the entire world that look real to us has no actually real substance in it. That means the world that we experience is apparent to us as real, looks real, but there is no real substance in it. It means it is empty of reality. Our apparent reality is empty of actual reality, according to the Buddha. In the Rohitassa Sutta, Buddha has declared that the entire world that we experience really is in our own mind, inside us. They are only mental images. Though they look real, they are not real to us. For example, when we are in front of a mirror, it looks as if we are inside the mirror. That looked real, but it had an image only, not real substance in it. So is the world created in our mental mirror, called our mind. It is empty of real substance. This idea of emptiness is explained by the Buddha in the Sunna Loka Sutta. At the page 112 of Sanyutta Nikaya Volume 4, where the Buddha said, sunno lokoti vuccati. He said, the world that we experience is empty, empty of any real substance. And that world, according to the Buddha in the Rohitassa Sutta, that we get on the page 120 of Sanyutta Nikaya Volume 1, the entire world that we experience is within us, because we can experience not the world outside us, but only the world created by the inadequate, insufficient, faulty information given to our mind by our weak sensory organs that have no complete capacity to know the entire truth or the reality of their own respective sense objects. Therefore, we are living mentally in an empty world, created by our sense organs. In the Sabba Sutta that you get at the page 20 of Sanyutta Nikaya Volume 4, but Sabba means all. all what we experience is nothing but our sensory experiences. Only what is experienced by our sense organs. That have no capacity, full capacity, to know exactly the real nature of their respective sensory objects. The eye can see pictures, images, the ear can hear sounds, the nose can smell different smells, the tongue can taste different tastes. Such experiences are limited due to the limited capacity of the sensory organs, which are incapable of knowing the reality of the world we experience. Once this truth is realized through the insight of our own wisdom, we become enlightened. Enlightenment means become a Buddha. The word Buddha means one who has understood the truth, the reality. Once we understand the real nature of the world that we experience, and that there is nothing real substances in the world, we will not be attached to such illusions. Nor will we resent such illusions, as we cannot accept such illusions only as illusions, not as realities. And that state of mind is called an enlightened mind, a mind that has realized the actual reality of things. In such a state, the mind is free from attachment to illusions, free from resentment of illusions, and free from the ignorance of illusions. We get deceived by illusion, and that is called moha. And when the mind is free from such illusions by such illusions, the mind is free of ignorance of the reality. And such a mind is called vita moha. And once this reality is realized, the mind does not get attached to anything. That means that mind is free from attachment, called raga. And it is called in Buddha language vita raga. And at the same time, it will not resent anything that is illusory, that has no substance. Freedom from resentment is called vita dosi, because resentment is dosi. Dosa means resentment. Vita dosa means free from resentment. And such a mind is in a state of called enlightenment. And the statement was called nirvana in Sanskrit and nibbana in Pali. In the Nibbana Sutta, the Buddha described nibbana as the eradication of raga, dosa, moha, attachment, resentment, and ignorance of things. Ignorance of the reality of things that you experience. That reality, according to Buddha, is emptiness, and he referred to it as sunyata. Sunyata means emptiness. And as I mentioned earlier, in the Sunna Loka Sutta, in the volume 4 of Sanyutta Nikaya, page 112, he said, our entire world that we experience is sunno. Sunno lokoti vuccati. Because we don't see, an enlightenment mind cannot see any real substance in the world that we experience in our mind. And that world, according to Rohitassa Sutta I mentioned earlier, is nothing but the world created in our mental screen called mind, with the information inadequate, insufficient, faulty information supplied by our sense organs. Enlightenment means the realization of the actual reality of this illusory mental world. That means enlightenment is going beyond the mind that illusions us by creating faulty images that looks real. Therefore, such a mind is called lokota. Buddha referred to our mind as loka, literally translated as world, that is the world that we know. Lokota means beyond that world. In English it is called a state of mind called supramundane. Mundane means worldly. Supramundane means beyond being worldly. Beyond the illusory world of the mind. And such a mind is called lokota. The mind that is controlled by the illusory world of the mind is called laukika, made of loka. Here the loka means the mental images, the sum total of mental images. And such images as I mentioned earlier, said in the Sabba Sutta, the entire things known by our sense organs are actually not real, and that is the entirety that we experience through our sensory organs. Sensory organs are deceiving us, misleading us. Enlightenment is escaping from that illusion. And that happens only within oneself. Through one's own insight, that can go beyond the illusory mental world that we experience. The Buddhist meditation is the realization of this mental world. And that vision of the reality is achieved by such a meditation called vipassana. Vipassana means superb vision. Passatte means seeing. Seeing the reality, seeing the truth. And that meditation of a bhavana is called vipassana bhavana. That is going deep into our own mind and going beyond the upper layer of the mind made of illusions, beyond which there is the eternal reality or the eternal truth of nirvana.